Silver mic. Check.
Hi, my name is Cassidy Villanos, and I am a barista at Great Lakes Coffee, and I am through Local 24 and we're united here, and I welcome you to the 93rd Annual Buck Dinner.
When they tie the can to a union man, sit down, they give him a break, take him back, just sit down, take a seat, sit down, rest your feet, sit down, you got 'em beat, sit down. When they smile and say no raise in pay, sit down, when you want the boss to come across, sit down. Sit down, take a seat. Sit down and rest your feet. Sit down, you got 'em beat. Sit down. When that speed up comes, just twiddle your thumbs. Sit down. When you need 'em to know, they better go slow. Sit down. Sit down, take a seat. Sit down and rest your feet. Sit down, you got 'em beat. Sit down. When the boss won't talk, don't take a walk, just sit down. When the boss sees that, he'll wanna chat. Sit down. Sit down, take a seat. Sit down and rest your feet. Sit down, you got 'em beat. Sit down. Sit down. Hey folks, it's great to be here at the Buck Dinner, the 93rd Annual Buck Dinner here. We are at an undisclosed location, as is the tradition of the Buck Dinner, because as you know, people fighting for progressive causes have not always been championed by our society. I'm very proud to be here tonight, and I'm going to introduce you our co-host in a second, but I want to remind folks that this is a fundraising dinner, and the Buck Dinner supports progressive causes of all kinds, from immigrant rights to they fight evictions. They help people, organizations in need with food insecurities and housing insecurities and all various things. You can look on www.buckdinner.org and you can learn all about the roots of the Buck Dinner, the history of the Buck Dinner, all the great people who've played it, and how you can help and donate and where the money goes. And it's a great cause, and we've got a wonderful evening of entertainment for you. And I am very happy to introduce my co-MC for this evening, the wonderful Danielle Atkinson.
Thanks so much, Chris. It is an honor to be co-host with you tonight for the 93rd Annual Buck Dinner, a legacy organization and event in our community here in Michigan. One thing from this pandemic, we are able to reach more people. And so we hope that we have new people along with our brothers and sisters and siblings in the movement in Metro Detroit tuning in to support such an awesome cause. Not only is this organization and this event a fundraiser for organizations in our area, but it's also an opportunity for us to come into community, something that we're missing tonight. We are not unable to break bread together, but I hope you're eating something and you'll enjoy the show as we hear from so many people doing great work. Glad that Chris is joining me up on stage. And thank you so much for that great song. It reminds us about the courage that it takes to sit down. And thank you so much for our Great Lakes Coffee Strikers. We are with you there on Woodward, supporting your effort. And we know that you're not only fighting for yourself, but you're fighting for labor justice and rights for all of us.
Indeed, and I want to point out that that song is a wonderful song, and it was written by Maurice Sugar, who's one of the founders of the Buck Dinner. And you'll see on the Buck Dinner website there's a quote from Maurice Sugar that I do not know by heart, but he talks about the roots of the Buck Dinner and how it is a dinner that raises funds for people and organizations who need help, and who also are organizations that are not supported by conventional funding. And that goes back all the way to 1929. It's been like this in our country. And as you all know, in the last couple years, conventional funding has dried up for a whole lot of folks. So even though you know, we're not live in person, we're hoping that you'll dig deep, because the need is even greater than it has been.
Yeah, and when you support organizations and the Buck Dinner, organizations that don't necessarily are not able to get those conventional fundings, they are accountable to their members, to the movement, and that's what we need to encourage. And so we are really excited to kick it off our portion, to introduce you to two people reading some poetry. Inside Out, which is a grantee of the Buck Dinner, and Xavier Jackson.
You asked us why we're angry, why we protest, why our black fists are raised higher than the American flag.
It's because the blue that's supposed to protect us leaves white hands stained in red blood. That's our blood spilled on American soil.
Why is a blue uniform which can be taken off given more value than skin which cannot?
Why does it seem like everything matters more than a black life? We are supposed to be content because we got a few moments of acknowledgement for being peaceful protesters on a television screen.
But the blood is not gone when the cameras turn off. Hundreds of years of pain does not end with a black square on Instagram, does not end when black murders are still streaming live on Facebook.
Maybe that's why there's red in our flag. America's history is written in blood.
Like the thick blood seeping through the walls of the Capitol, pooling in the streets, dripping from the tree limbs that still hold the memories of black bodies.
This is America. You tell me to calm down.
Think I'm too aggressive when I speak my mind?
Say this isn't a black and white issue, but it is. I'm watching my country burn to the ground, sparked by my fellow humans' anger and pain. To be seen as worthy, to be seen as human.
To live freely and safely in the skin I was born in is a right. Is a civil right.
To live freely and safely in the skin I was born in this America, in our America is civil.
And nothing will be right in America until the violence and rage of red is replaced with love and valor. The brutality and oppression of blue is transformed into equity and peace.
And the white makes room for the entire rainbow, no longer standing on its own, but with every other color.
Finally united for all.
Audio Jungle.
Hello, my name is Xavier Jackson, and the title of my poem is called Harmon. My mother gave me a place to live, a place that I can call my own. Home is where my soulmate awaits for me, the place where me and my friends can laugh and crack jokes. Home is where all my memories rest as they become the flooring and wallpaper. My home shelters me from the harsh expectations of reality, the pressure to always perform, to never falter, and to always be a model. It hides me when I break down and when I can't handle the pressure, when I can't reach my own expectations. My home is generational. It has been renovated with each person born. It was built by my ancestors' persistence and love, using prayers as bricks and songs as cement. Even now, I pay for this home each time I take a breath. I pay for the mortgage, the water bill, the light bill, and I make sure the heat stays on. Even when I wonder if it's worth to keep living, to keep paying for this home that my ancestors worked so hard to build, I remember that I'm not the only one that lives in this house. My home was built by the women of my past and their daughters after them. This home was a gift from my mother to make sure that I stay safe the rest of my life. I would like to keep this home so I can pass it down to the children that come after me, so that they can always be protected and fill this home with even more memories.
Hi everybody. Have you or a loved one experienced corporate or government malfeasance? Have the profiteers really ruined your way of life? Do you believe that the ghost of Henry Ford and other types of lumber barons and auto magnates have actually hurt your cost of living? Well, us at the Sugar Law Center have been fighting that now for maybe 90-some years. And we're here for you, and we're here to remind you that not only Maurice and I, but our entire Sugar Law team, John, Tanya, Shannon, and Diane and Jacob, countless interns and fellows that have helped us do the past year's work, aren't as important as even you all, who keep the funding going and the donations going to make Maurice Sugar's legacy and the Sugar Law's work continue to resonate today. We also need to introduce you to the emeritus of this firm, Ken Cockrell Sr., Dean Robb. He's reading the Ford Hunger March book right now as we speak. And of course, Harry Philo himself, Local 600. When you or anybody that you know is downhearted, distrodden, and needs belief that the working people of this world will once again rise above the ghost of Ronald Reagan, we are here for you. Speaking of Dean, this is Dean's tie right here. Thanks for letting me use it, Dean. And thanks to Ken Cockrell Sr., Mr. Dean Robb, and Mr. Philo here for holding the rhythm down all these years. Because without their rhythm, we wouldn't have a story to tell.
What band is this?
Maurice, do you know this band or this song? Quiet treatment, huh? I don't know. Definitely better than Bill Meyer. Thanks, boys. Well, just this week alone, the Sugar Law Center celebrated the 90th anniversary of the Ford Hunger March, where Maurice Sugar's book details not only representing the families of the slain marchers, but actually what they were all marching for. We also had an amazing protest at Polonia Restaurant, who had engaged in tip theft, sexual harassment, racist, homophobic comments, a Punchki Day celebration full of stuffed punchki, multiple protests, a brass band, true Mardi Gras style, where we actually combine culture, the Sugar Kids as we call them, with activism and the law. Right, Maurice? We also got some enemies to resign. We even had a little retreat of all the like-minded attorneys to talk about cases and causes. We continue to keep the legacy of the Sugar Law Center alive. And it wasn't just this past week. If we go back in the past year, with help from you all, we've been able to represent and advise over 1,000 victims of Michigan's unemployment insurance system. Where during the pandemic, they took the most vulnerable amongst us and charged them with $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 in debt, asking for all that money back. We also continue our work in community benefits. Had to check on the food. Ernie Goodman's the best at making the buck for us all. Right, Ernie? Our community benefits work doesn't stop there. Sugar Law Center has actually filed suit against the City of Detroit for the failure to apply the Community Benefits Ordinance and Community Outreach Ordinance for the historic Michigan State Fairgrounds. I guess we gotta give Amazon everything they want. More importantly, let me tell you some other cases we've done. In collaboration with the Michigan Immigrant Rights Center and Resilience Force, the Sugar Law Center has filed a precedent-setting lawsuit on behalf of immigrant workers wrongfully classified as independent contractors brought to the Midland flood cleanup site and then exposed to COVID and all other types of workplace safety problems. Sugar Law Center continues in the Headley case, where we're holding the state of Michigan accountable for depriving local municipalities of actual tax dollars and revenue sharing they've been entitled to from the beginning and try to get around, like saying charter schools and other privatization schemes are included in our public funds. It doesn't end there, and it happens every single day at the Sugar Law Center. But again, we wouldn't be able to do it without you all. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you to our board, the donors, our firm emeritus, every one of our cooperating attorneys who's been with us through everything. I might not be here with you all next year, but I promise you, I love you all forever. Cheers, everybody.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for all of our great performances. You're going to hear so much great stuff tonight. So the way the Buck Dinner works is there are headhunters, and they recruit people to be a part of their table when we have our in-person dinner, and that's how we raise money. It's truly a community organizing event. And unfortunately, since we're not able to be in person, you are able to be a headhunter and donate to this great cause. Here is the Buckometer, as I'm sure you're seeing on your screen right now, measuring how much we are raising tonight. So in real time, you can see how much people are raising, how much we have going to great organizations, and you'll hear about them later. But please donate. Remember that this is extremely important to our community and to our cause as progressive people. A tradition with the Buck Dinner is to honor the transitions that we have in our lives, whether it be death or birth or weddings. It's a time for us to take some time and just remember the cycle of life and how we are bound to each other. We're gonna have a video showing all of that, but there are a few late additions to this part of the program, and we again want to honor everyone. So making their final transition and dying this year was Martha Cooney, Kathy Baldwin, Bob and Kenny, and Dr. Jean Barron.
Oscar Pascal lived to 101 years old. Think of everything that happened in those 101 years. The Depression, World War II, the birth of industrial unions, civil rights, and he was always a socialist and always fought for worker rights.
Oscar knew what oppression was from an early age. His immigrant parents had fled anti-Semitism in Romania, coming to New York City, where Oscar grew up in the immigrant ghettos of the Bronx. During the Great Depression, his father was a union member and a member of the Socialist Party, and his point of pride was that he had actually shaken hands with the great Eugene Debs, something Oscar was happy to pass along to Bernie Sanders 100 years later when he had a chance to shake Bernie's hand. As a teenager, Oscar was already an activist. He picketed Madison Square Garden during the 1930s when the Nazi Party held a convention there. And just a few years later, he was directing artillery fire at retreating Nazi troops during the Battle of the Bulge. That was one of many struggles he was a part of over the course of his life as a production worker and tool and die maker at Chrysler, as a marcher in Martin Luther King's Walk to Freedom, and as a supporter of the Detroit newspaper strike, where he was arrested for civil disobedience.
When we met Oscar, he was on the staff of the UAW Education Department, and he warmly reached out to the new generation of lefties. Whenever there was a march or a picket line for worker justice, Oscar was there. The last one was in 2019. He was almost 100. It was bad weather. He was on a walker, but he joined the picket line for the Aramac GM strike. And to the very end, Oscar was intellectually active, and he remains an inspiration.
Hey folks, we're
We're back. And we're going to take a look at the buckometer here in a little bit. But right now, we're going to play one song. And by we, I mean me. And you can sing along. That's the we part. And then we're going to take a short intermission so you can find your link to donate to the Buck Dinner and get ready for the second set. Now I'm going to play you another song that was written by Maurice Sugar, one of the founders of the Buck Dinner. And I think these songs, as a singer, I find them very instructional. Songs tell us about the situations in which they were written. And you know, we heard the Sit Down song, which was written during the Sit Down strikes in 1937, which just really captured the power of people taking control of their own actions. And you know, we stopped the wheels, and things can happen that way and prove to be successful. This song is I appreciate Maurice Sugar's social commentary and his songwriting abilities, and I'm honored to sing this song that is a tradition at the Buck Dinner. So stick around, we got a lot more coming up after this, and you'll have plenty of chances to donate. You need to see what the Buckometers do. Now you can sing along, because this song's all about how people need help, and they're not quite getting the help they need from maybe the conventional funding sources. Sometimes what we do, even in charity, falls short. I'm spending my nights at the flop house. I'm spending my days on the street. I'm looking for work, but I find none. I wish I had something to eat. At the factory, I did everything I was told. They said I was loyal and faithful, but now before even I'm old, they gave me a bowl of they gave me a bowl of soup. I saved $15 with my banker to buy me a car and a yacht. I went down to draw out my fortune, and this is the answer I got. They gave me a bowl of soup. They gave me a bowl of soup. For my country, I went out to bleed and to die. I thought that my country would help me, but this was my country's reply. Soup, soup, they gave me a bowl of soup. Soup, soup, they gave me a bowl of soup. On my knees to my Maker, I prayed every night to the Lord. I vowed I'd be meek and submissive. Now I've received my reward. Soup, soup, they gave me a bowl of soup. Soup, soup, they gave me a bowl of soup. Folks, we're going to take a 5-minute break for about 10 minutes. We'll see you back here in about 12 or 15. Don't forget to donate, because you're the people who can help move the buckometer up and get done what we're trying to accomplish here, folks. Thank you. We'll see you in a few. Hey folks, thanks for coming back. We're glad you didn't take off. We're here at the 93rd Annual Buck Dinner, and I'm going to turn it over to Danielle and see how we're doing on the Buckometer, and then we're going to get going on the rest of the program. Danielle, what do we got going over there?
Yeah, thanks, Chris. We are doing really well. We have $20,756 raised. So excited. I learned right before we started this that the Buck Dinner, along with, just donating to hundreds of organizations, donated to Martin Luther King. And so tonight you have an opportunity to be a part of such a wonderful legacy. So please donate. It will go to a good cause. And then in 70 years, you can say that you were part of the next huge movement. Thanks. Welcome back to the stage.
I'm glad to be here.
And so we are really honored to introduce a message from the ACLU, G's Magazine. They're both grantees of the Buck Dinner, and also a song from Rent Strike.
Good evening. I'm Lauren Kogali, Executive Director of the ACLU of Michigan. I'm grateful to be here with you tonight and to share some of the work that our incredible team at the ACLU of Michigan has been doing. We have huge fights ahead of us. Reproductive rights are under attack. Our democracy is on the line. The ACLU of Michigan, as always, is ready. We will bring every tool we have to bear to protect reproductive rights. The ACLU of Michigan, along with Michigan Voices and Planned Parenthood, have launched the Reproductive Freedom for All campaign to amend the state constitution to protect a broad swath of reproductive rights, including abortion, for all Michiganders once and for all. No more politicians interfering with highly personal decisions that should be between a pregnant person and their doctor. As of this week, we are out collecting signatures to get this measure on the ballot in November, and we need you in this fight too. The ACLU of Michigan continues to persist in its work to protect our democracy and ensure that our elections are free, fair, and secure. Voting rights are without question the bedrock of our democracy, and we will be fighting through the 2024 election and beyond to combat voter suppression, tactics to subvert our democratic process, and the spread of misinformation to voters. We continue to work to protect the rights of immigrants in Michigan. Recently, we released a report, The Border's Long Shadow, detailing a review of records of 13,000 stops and exposing how Border Patrol colludes with state and local police agencies to target, arrest, and deport immigrants, many of whom are longtime Michigan residents. That report led to the Michigan State Police changing its policy so that it no longer checks the immigration status of stopped drivers. And finally, last week we were in the Michigan Supreme Court once again, continuing the fight to amend Michigan's civil rights law to protect LGBTQ Michiganders from discrimination in the context of housing, employment, business, and education. A positive ruling in this case will expand the state's protections for LGBTQ people. I'm so appreciative of the opportunity to share just a sampling of the ACLU of Michigan's work, and I'm thrilled to do so in a space with such esteemed social justice warriors. Thank you so much. Enjoy your evening.
Hi friends of the Buck Dinner, this is Lydia Wiley-Kellerman and Lucy Wiley-Eggert. I'm the editor at G's Magazine. And I'm the art director. We're here in our office, which is in St. Peter's Peace and Justice Hive. G's Magazine is a quarterly print magazine at the intersection of art, activism, and spirit. And we're really grateful to have all of you as part of that community and grateful for all the support that Buck Dinner has given over the years.
Yes, thank you so much.
Hello, my name's John. I play in a band called Rent Strike. We're from Lansing. I'm here today to play a song in support of the Buck Dinner, which is an incredible organization that puts an annual event on to disperse some grant money to small organizations that are full of like fire and good ideas and work ethic but don't have any money. So maybe someday that won't be such a stipulation, but for now, hell yeah, Buck Dinner, this is awesome. I'm stoked to be a part of it. I'm gonna play a song that I wrote about work and ultimately how that definition has become so twisted in this day and age, but really it's something that we've all got in us, and something to be proud of, whatever it looks like. The song's called Work. Life is work, that's what they say. I scribbled all over the back of the proof of my pay. I was singing it's work, oh, and that's work till you die. Go on, make that dollar for somebody else, maybe they'll hand you a dime. Oh, it's an endless degradation, it's 100,000 little lacerations, the payoff of which couldn't fit on any check that anyone could conceivably cut. Oh, and you bleed, and you bleed, and you bleed, and the earth just laps it up. Oh, work, you're why I still smoke, and I gotta drink beer at the end of the day, 'cause I gotta cope with all of the work that I suffer through. What they say is the truth, and that I should be thankful to do. Oh, but they will mock us and they will mistreat us till they can replace us all with an app or a kiosk. And apathy is the natural byproduct of being exhausted and sick all the time. So don't tell me that working like this is the meaning of life. So yeah, I work, but I try not to be defined by what gets me paid for an hour of my time, 'cause it's just a means to an ending, and all of the energy that I end up expending I will get back in spades with the systems that necessitate all of this work fall apart, and we can work for ourselves for a change. So we gotta work, cause none of our visions of a better tomorrow are ever gonna come to fruition without a whole lot of work. Oh, and that's all there is to it. So, gosh darn it, I guess that we gotta do it. Oh, but that looks like so many things, and these economics, they could never conceive of all of our value or measure our worth. No, I will not let them tell me what it means to do work. Thanks again, y'all. Thanks for having me. It's been a blast.
All right. Well, we're back, and I'm here to tell you about another event that's happening, and it's happening on April 23rd, which is Earth Day. And there's the Oakland County Earth Day celebration that's happening. There's a climate march and a rally and a fair all going on. The fair is going on from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., and the march will be at 10 a.m. So if you come down to, it's at the Centennial Commons Park in Royal Oak, which is right across the street from the Farmers Market on April 23rd. You can see the flyer here. I don't know what side it's on. We're in the magic world of the internets. It's a series of tubes, I'm told. There's going to be things there for green jobs and climate justice, and all the usual suspects will be marching, and we hope you will join us and come down there and rally for your climate.
Yeah, Royal Oak, we're not usually the site for rallies and marches, so I'm really excited, and I hope to see you all there. Another great event, the Michigan Coalition for Human Rights. They're having their annual dinner on Sunday, April 24th, and the keynote speaker is Keith Ellison, so you have to come. That's really exciting. He's the Minnesota Attorney General, and they'll be giving out awards to a lot of our community leaders, including a new organization, Michigan Liberation. Very proud of the work they're doing, and that will be at Marygrove. The reception starts at 4 p.m. and dinner's at 5. And you can go to the Buck Dinners website and you will see information, and or you can go to the Michigan Coalition for Human Rights, their website, and get more information. Hope to see you guys there.
This is the official videotape of the gathering.
Once 50 countries actually ratified, 90 days after is when it entered into force. So now we're up to 59 countries have ratified. That means it goes into law.
We invited several Congress people to be here, and Rashida Tlaib could not be here, but she responded.
Nuclear war cannot be won, and a nuclear war must never be fought.
Hey folks, this is the 93rd annual Buck Dinner. We want to thank you all for being generous. Those of you who have contributed, or otherwise donated money. We would like to entreat anyone who hasn't to go ahead and dig deep, because your fellow humans need your help. Now, I know people watching the Buck Dinner don't need to be told what solidarity is. As we know, and the definition given to me by my friend Billy Bragg, I like the best. Solidarity is empathy plus action. And that's what the Buck Dinner is all about. This is a dinner of solidarity, because we are all about empathy and action on that empathy. And I want to sing you a song that I wrote, because another great milestone that happened this year, and it happened, I believe it was on March 7th, was the 90th, I hate to say that out loud, it seems almost like it was ancient history, but it isn't. But in 1932, there was a thing called the Ford Hunger Strike that happened when union workers and other workers went marching for food and milk for their babies and other such radical ideas. This song, my grandfather worked at the Ford Rouge plant, and I'm very proud to have the UAW and union members in my family. My father is a lifelong member of the Iron Workers Local 25, and this song is not about my grandfather, it might be about yours. I'm employed 1209, the assembly line at the Rouge, about 12 hours a day. And I was up at 4 a.m. Me and my brother Jim drove to town in his rusty Model A. Me and Jim were union men, do the best we can to see the worker gets to see. But old Harry Bennett's boys, they don't like no union noise. We had some trouble in our day. Yeah, trouble. Me and Jim and his wife Sue, we marched in 32, asking only for work that we didn't like. Well, Bennett servicemen and the police who were friends sat at the gate. They planned out the attack. 3,000 proud and strong, we sang a union song in the gate beneath the great smokestack. And that smokestack shadows dim, buried the 5 men that Bennett's boys shot. Yeah, they shot on in the back. And I'm out here on this picket line, 'cause I was there that day, and I saw them throw Walter Luther down on that road passing me. Ever since the age of 3, Daddy said to me, my son, there's some things that you're gonna have to learn. There's people who will take, people who will fake, working folks like us, my son. So you work by light of I'd like to introduce to you Camila Cantu is going to sing you a song.
Coming out this month. Hope you enjoy. It's my single, Independently, coming out this month. Hope you enjoy.
Well, it has been such an incredible night. I can't believe this hour has gone by so fast. It's been my pleasure to be a co-host with Chris tonight for the 93rd Annual Buck Dinner. I want to thank UAW Local 160 and their president, David Small. Without their beautiful space, we wouldn't have been able to make this possible. And of course, Three Lions for just the lights, the camera, the action. It has been a pleasure to work with them as well. Y'all raised $29,675. But we can do so much better. So I really encourage you to forward this link to your friends and family. Tell them that you are part of a great movement and ask them to donate. Reach in your pocket, donate a few dollars more so we can donate all of this money to some really awesome organizations. I was telling the people in the hall today that I'm not from Michigan, but when I came here, a lot of the people that you saw in that video welcomed me with open arms to not only Michigan, but the progressive movement in this state. So I really, it's a pleasure to be able to give back in this way. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to my co-host, Chris, to lead us out in some songs.
Well, thank you, Danielle. And I want to echo what Danielle just said. You know, the Buck Dinner traditionally has had headhunters, as they are known, who get tables together to come and donate. And the root of that tradition is that this dinner had to be done in secret because the powers that be didn't necessarily want people meeting and funding progressive causes. This is your opportunity to be a headhunter. You can share the link. You can get your friends involved and make this the biggest Buck Dinner ever. And we really want to appreciate and thank everybody for all the support and everyone here at Three Lions Production doing the video over here. It's just all pretty amazing around here. I'm going to play you a song now. It's an emotional song for me. I did not write this song, but one of the missions, one of the causes that the Buck Dinner does help fund is immigrants' rights. And as we have been taught in school, and sometimes it goes in one ear out the other, but it's true, we are a nation of immigrants. And I remember growing up believing that that was the strength of our country because we had, and like my family, and possibly your family. Now this song is written from a definitive perspective, and I can't help that, but I know that there are people who did not come through Ellis Island. There were people who brought to this country against their will. There are various ways that people came to this country, but we all are American. And we got to get back. You know, when I watch the news and I see people fleeing their homeland in Ukraine, and I think about that's how a lot of our families ended up here. And if we forget that, that's a great crime committed by us. So this song I'd like to send out to the memory of my good friend Oscar Pascal, who I was so honored to meet. I've met wonderful people in this movement, this dinner, and I hope I meet a lot more. This is a Guy Clark song about what this country's about. Old Ellis Island was swarming like a scene from a costume ball, decked out in the colors of Europe and on fire with the hope of it all. There my father's own father stood huddled with the hungry, tired and scared turn of the century pilgrims bound by the dream that they shared. They were standing in lines just like cattle. They were poked, sorted and shoved. Some were one desk away from sweet freedom, and others torn from the ones that they loved. Through this swarming tower of Babel came a young man confused and alone, determined and bound for America, carrying everything that he owned. that day reflected. I can't hold my feelings inside. And I see starting with nothing and working hard all of his life. Oh, don't take it for granted. Say grandfather's immigrant eyes. Well, he'd smile, stare out the window. His eyes, they were still just as clear as the day he sailed into the harbor, come ashore on the Isle of Tears. Well, my grandfather's days, they were numbered, but I won't let his memory die, because he gave me the gift of this country and the look in his immigrant eyes. Well, sometimes when I look in my grandfather's immigrant eyes, I see that day reflected. I can't hold my feelings inside. And I see starting with nothing and working hard all of his life. Don't take it for granted. Say grandfather's immigrant eyes. Don't you take it for granted. Say grandfather's immigrant eyes. Yes, folks. Boy, oh boy, that song is it's a doozy. It's one of those ones I wish I'd written, but I really do think that the people watching the Buck Dinner do understand what solidarity is all about and what America's all about. We're going to get some folks up here to sing this next song because the results vary. We need to have all of you singing along together. Now, if we sing song, we learn songs like this, it's powerful. When we sing these songs like this, it's a little more powerful. When we sing them together, then we got something. These are the kind of songs that when people sang together, changed the world, built a middle class. And it's not just the songs, it's the people, obviously. So I want to implore you all to sing along. This song was written in 1915. This song is over 100 years old, people, and it's the story of our people and how we need to get a better shake in this world. Now, this was written, 14 years before the Buck Dinner was even started. So I just didn't really add anything to it, but I just like to impress people with my math skills. When the union's inspiration to the workers' blood shall run, there can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. But one force on earth is weaker than the meager strength of one. The union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. The union makes us strong. Well, have we aught in common with the greedy parasite who would crush us with his serfdom and then crush us with his might? Is there anything left to us but organize and fight? For the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. The union makes us strong. It is we who plowed the prairies, built the cities where they trade, dug the mines, built the workshops, endless miles of the railroad laid. We
stand outcast and starving amidst the treasures we have made. The union makes us strong. Solidarity forever, solidarity forever, solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong. Well, they have taken untold billions they've never toiled to earn, but without our brawn and muscle, not a single wheel could turn. We could break their haughty power, earn our freedom when we learn that the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever, solidarity forever, solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong. In our hands is placed a power greater than their hoarded gold, greater than the might of armies magnified 1,000-fold. We can bring to birth a new one from the ashes of the old, for the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever, solidarity forever, solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong. One time, sing along. Solidarity forever, solidarity forever, solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong. Remember that, folks. Very important. Thank you all for sharing your time with us and for being so generous to the Buck Dinner. We hope we find you well and we're able to do this in person next year. Dig deep. I dare you to donate more than you already have. I don't think you have the guts to. Okay. Big love, folks. Take care of each other and take it easy, but take it.